Matt Hervey. Tonight's Boston Bruins lineup versus the Toronto Maple Leafs on TSN.
2, 3, 4. Too many people racing too close together, and you know, it's this early in the race. That's stupid.
That accident shouldn't have happened, but it did.
Being impatient. That causes more wrecks than anything else. People saying, well, you shouldn't be passing at this time of the race. That's baloney. I think what's happened here is that Ernie has got the reputation for causing wrecks.
He's sort of got that stigma now, and if he's on the same straightaway, it's his fault.
And now anytime he's even close to a wreck or a wreck happens, then everybody, including the people in the garage area and the people in the fans, start pointing at Ernie.
At the time, I really didn't understand what had happened. I went home and watched it on the film. Hey, I was the one to prevent that wreck. I'm an aggressive race car driver, and, you know, that's the sort of things that's made NASCAR Winston Cup racing so great.
Ernie returns to Talladega in 1992 with a renewed acceptance from drivers and the pole position for today's Winston 500.
ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today, live from Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama, it's the Winston 500. And skies were threatening earlier today, but right now we have sunshine, partly cloudy weather. It is nice and warm and humid. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to the Winston 500 in Talladega, stop number 9 on the Winston Cup Tour for 1992. Now, let's take a look at the quest for the Cup standings as we enter this event. Davey Allison last week and Harry Gant were separated by 86 points. This week, the top 5 are separated by 83 points. It's the closest points battle in over a decade after 8 races. And there you can see the 6 through 10 place standings, including the defending Winston Cup champion, Dale Earnhardt. Now, Davey Allison starts second in today's race. And not only that, he won an IROC event here yesterday, and that made him the winningest driver in Talladega history. How about Terry Labonte? He comes in here third in points. He's driving the third different make of car so far in 1992. It's the same car he drove at Daytona, but for today, he has Ford skin on it. And there's another guy you can't count out. He's the defending champion of this race, and for more on that, here's Ned and Benny.
Bob, you can never count Harry Gant out, regardless of where he's running in the pack. Remember a year ago when he won the Winston 500 here at Talladega? He was not much of a factor during the race, but at the end, when it really counted, good gas mileage and a drafting partner, Rick Mast, helped him to pull off the victory, Benny. Maybe not in an exciting manner, but nevertheless, he got the big dollars.
Not as exciting at Talladega usually, as this racetrack is known for excitement. Packs 30 cars, nose to tail, side by side at 195 miles per hour. That's what we're going to see today. It is exciting, folks, so hang on. And one guy who probably will be lending most of the excitement at the beginning of the race is Mark Martin. He's back in 21st spot.
And he's back in 21st spot because his qualifying speed on the first day of qualifying was disallowed by NASCAR because his car was too low. Well, Harry Gant had a similar problem at Daytona, but he was only qualifying for a qualifying race. Here, Mark Martin had to re-qualify on the second day, so he is back in 21st place. Now, he's going to have some help to get up to the front, and that will be in the way of drafting. He'll have to find himself a drafting partner. Well, for more on that, let's go to the pit and Jerry Punch.
Thank you, Ned. Drafting is the key to being successful here at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Now, drafting means you got to have a partner, a dance partner, almost like a shadow, so that when you come down pit road, they come down pit road. When you go up high to pass, they go up high to pass. It's almost like someone's following you, mimicking your every move. No matter where you go all week long, to cut a hole in that wind, you've got to have a shadow, a drafting partner, a dance partner. However, right here, guys, no drafting inside. All yours, John.
Thank you, Jerry. Well, as we said earlier, Ernie Irvan does have a lot to prove today here at Talladega, and he is sitting on the pole. He, along with Ricky Rudd, who's starting in the 4th position, I believe, are going to have a lot to say about, well, my drafting partner is back right now, a lot to say as to whether Ford's winning streak continues. Bob?
And John, that Ford win streak is now at 12, 8 consecutive this year, and the last 4 NASCAR Winston Cup races of 1991. Here now is the die-hard starting lineup. On the pole is Ernie Irvan in the Kodak Film Chevrolet. Outside row number 1 is Davey Allison. The second row consists of Sterling Marlin from Columbia, Tennessee, and Ricky Rudd from Chesapeake, Virginia. Third row is Bill Elliott, and alongside will be Morgan Shepherd. Going to the fourth row, it's Terry Labonte, and outside, Brett Bodine. The fifth row, Kyle Petty on the inside and Dale Earnhardt on the outside. And the rest of the starting lineup now as we are just about set to go green for 188 laps of racing in the Winston 500. It's a beautiful day now. It was very threatening early this morning. As a matter of fact, the Weather Bureau is still calling for about a 50% chance of rain. But right now, we are in very good shape weather-wise and anticipating some excellent, exciting racing here at Talladega.
And you can see there are some drivers far back in the field that's going to give us some of that excitement, Bob.
How about that Darrell Waltrip, the pole winner last week at Martinsville back in 33rd spot?
And look at the huge crowd on hand here at Talladega as we get set for racing. The pace car has pulled off. The field comes down, anticipating a green flag. Ernie Irvan is on the pole with Davey Allison alongside. Then Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd. We're looking for green for the Winston 500. Here it is. We're racing.
Didn't take Michael Waltrip long to fall out. Just as soon as he crossed the start-finish line, he fell to the inside.
But going to the front is outside. Front row center, Davey Allison leading Ernie Irvan as they come down the front stretch. And there is Michael Waltrip.
He got caught on the inside. Just doesn't have a drafting partner. Can't go to the front. Here's Sterling Marlin. He's got Bill Elliott teammates bumper to bumper trying to get by Rudd on the outside.
That outside groove, though, here at Talladega is normally the best. You can keep the RPMs of the engine up a little higher, get a better run off the turns.
Davey Allison will lead lap number 1. Right behind him is Ernie Irvan. Then the battle for third between Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd as we have the perspective of Morgan Shepherd as that's Rudd and Marlin right in front of him.
These cars are 3 abreast. There's Earnhardt right behind the 11 and 21 with Earnhardt in the middle of cars 3 abreast.
Yeah, it looks like, 4 abreast down the backstretch.
Here comes Kyle Petty.
Mark Martin is there on the inside. He has picked up several spots here in the early going. He started 21st, but is moving up quickly. And Earnhardt comes up to challenge also.
Wow, look at those cars, 3 abreast. Is that Stanley Smith in the middle of that mess?
Wow, you talk about crowded on the freeway. But Dick Beatty told them in the drivers' meeting, gentlemen, there's got to be a lot of give and take.
Now that was Ted Musgrave in the middle of that. The car that I was speaking of was Ted Musgrave.
Still 3 abreast racing for position. There is Earnhardt going past Ricky Rudd and setting his sights on Sterling Marlin. Earnhardt has got 4th place.
Well, I'll tell you, it's a miracle that we've gotten through those laps of the way they've been jockeying around and running 3 and 4 abreast.
Look out, Bill Elliott goes by along Brett Bodine, tries to follow him, and goes right by Earnhardt.
And Terry Labonte in the Ford, the Sunoco Ford number 94, also involved in this tremendous battle for position.
Morgan Shepherd up high and the Wood brothers sit go forward. He's making a move towards the front on the high side.
And Harry Gant is in big trouble. The defending champion of this race has dropped back to near the tail of the field.
Well, remember last year he was absolutely at the tail of the field until they made their last pit stop, or at least his last pit stop.
And another driver who is well off the mark, in fact, behind Harry Gant, is Darrell Waltrip.
Look at those cars come off this corner. Now, folks, I'm telling you, they're running 190 miles an hour. There's Dale Jarrett on the inside. The interstate car.
Let's see if that was going to be a smart move. He went to the inside. He moved up to 6th from his 15th starting position, but it's going to be tough for him to pass down there. In fact, I think that was a mistake that he pulled down there. He passed Earnhardt on the outside.
Let's go to John Kernan, who can tell us about Harry Gant.
Bob, I just talked to Andy Petrie, the crew chief. He says, I don't know. He says Harry hasn't said anything, but we do know that that is a brand new race car. They've been having some problems, as well as Darrell Waltrip, who is also in a car that they wrecked earlier this year. They had to change some of those things. Jeff Hammond said that had been one of the most frustrating moments that he has ever experienced in his racing career. But on Friday, Harry's team tried one of Ernie Irvan's engine. It picked up some speed for them, but they decided to take that engine out. And right now, Andy Petrie is kind of shrugging his shoulders, doesn't know what's going on. Let's go down pit road to Jerry Punt.
John, I spoke with Harry Gant just before the green flag began. He said, Doc, we're going nowhere. This is what happens when you build a brand new race car and you're so busy you don't have time to test and you don't have time to go to the wind tunnel. It's a big battle up front for the lead. They are challenging up front. Harry Gant still dropping back, and Darrell Waltrip also struggling, having his trouble. Allison leads, but Ernie Irvan is in the hunt.